Hello, welcome to Alice Ops, and it's great to see you back here. We have been shopping hard the past couple of weekends because finally here in Montreal we have nice enough weather for it. It stopped raining, it's a great thing, and there are lots of garage sales, which I have to say is probably the place where we find most of our stuff, at least during the summer. So we bought tons of things, and this is just like a fraction of stuff we've bought. So I'll try and not make the video too long. Because we've gotten a lot of stuff, then we need the time to research some stuff and then list it and pack it and put it away and organize it. And so it leaves us little time to do the videos, and we want to do it now when the stuff is not sold yet and when the stuff is not all put away. So I'm trying to organize it so that it works. So this is why maybe you don't have videos with a whole lot of what we've bought, because that would be really long. But maybe I'll try to separate it into at least a couple of videos to show you some of the main attractions, let's say. So I hope your yard sale season is kicking up, or if you do auctions or whatever, there are more of them. Maybe it's easier to get around. I hope if you're in a climate like ours that this is finally that glorious time of year where it's happening and that you're finding good stuff, because there's nothing worse than going to 25 garage sales and finding nothing. But then again, I have to say, as we always say, that's not the only thing we go there for, and it's just fun to be out in the world and gathering different experiences and sharing life experience with people and seeing their stuff and just rooting around in stuff. So to begin, my husband picked up a Sony Walkman, probably from the 1990s-ish. So that's always a good thing. It was about $3, and we're thinking probably upwards of 20-ish, something like that. Those are always great because they're kind of sure to sell. And also a Discman, a Sanyo Discman, which was also not very much, thinking $2. And, same thing, maybe 20 to 30, something like that. And such a nice little neat sale. You know it works, you ship it off, that's that. This I picked up just because I really like it, and I know it's not worth that much, maybe. I picked it up for $4. It's Nippon, and so, whoa, yeah, I don't think you'll see that. From the turn of the century approximately, and I can tell that mostly by the way it's decorated, that fine filigree of gold, that style, and I'm not even sure what it is for. So that tells me that people don't dine like this anymore. I think it would be maybe a set where you would pick up like a cold syrup or sauce, maybe a coulis, or maybe it's for berries. If anyone out there happens to know, it'd be great to know. If not, it's very decorative. It's lovely. It's in good condition. It's not super collectible from what I can tell, but I think someone who likes that style, that airiness, that luxuriness, that luxuriousness, I should say, would just appreciate that style. And speaking of style, I will direct you to the bowls we found, the mixing bowls. They're Pyrex nesting bowls. And I love about them, when you look at the rim, there's that luminosity. It's almost like it's lit from underneath, the way it picks up the light, with the way it was painted on the outside and then the glass inside. They're in very good condition. I got them for $4. I've seen them sell for maybe $30 to $40. And they're vintage from, I would say, the 60s, probably because of those colors that were very much in vogue then. Yeah, and I'm thinking that, you know, items like this, when I think of who is going to buy this and is this a good item to sell, for me, it's, you know, items like this or the Nippon bowl. I'm thinking that one of the reasons people gravitate towards those things is they do like I do. They see the movie in their head. They associate it with a book, a character, a time in their life, a movie, where they're playing the role. And all of a sudden, they are part of that movie or that time of their life. You know, they are June Cleaver in Leave It to Beaver. They are Rose in Titanic, you know, being served something fine at the table in Titanic. They become those characters. They can, or, you know, they stay themselves, but I mean, they reach that part of themselves that is a bit like that character, and they savor that. Or they reach that part of themselves that's the little girl who was around her mom who was baking using similar dishes, you know. So I think that's what really interests me about these items, how that can make that come to life, and also gives me insight into, you know, is this a good item to sell? Why would this appeal to some? Well, sometimes it's as easy as that. Picked up these two mystery mugs. The illustration is by Edward Gorey, and they're mugs that sometimes they would give out. PBS TV station would give away, I think, if you became a member, because it's a public broadcasting station. So because I thought, well, that's pretty distinctive, and I could see how a fan of Edward Gorey, Lord knows there are, very distinctive type of art, you know, might be into that, as well as people who watch PBS. Is that a crack? No, it's not a crack, but there's definitely a little wear inside. They were 50 cents each. I've seen them go as much as $20 each. So, but I didn't do the research when I was there. I just thought 50 cents, interesting. I know it's Edward Gorey, you know, put that in a shopping bag. So that's very good. That's a good possibility there. This is just something neat because it's a perfume bottle. It's cobalt blue glass with a metal decoration on it. It was $2. Again, I find that usually perfume bottles, scent bottles, vanity items do pretty well. I mean, this is not antique and it's not anything like that. There's no wear on it. It's not a style that would suggest to me that it's older. But I think it's very decorative, and somebody might really want that on their vanity. Maybe, you know, $10 to $15. Maybe in a set, like in a lot of other things. This was pretty distinctive as well. Not as classy, perhaps, but a lot of fun. It's a perfume bottle with the dauber as well, and in good condition. As you can see, it was $1, and it's all sequins, and you can pour a little perfume in there, or just, you know, maybe just want to put it on your side table and say, I'm sassy and I'm ready, and just remind yourself of that sometimes. I'm sassy, I'm ready. It's right there next to your bed. Little trinket box that I thought was interesting because it's glass and this kind of gold tone. It was made exclusively for Elizabeth Arden, probably came with a beauty product of some kind. It was 50 cents. We'll see what happens. At a community yard sale where there were, you know, it was one table after another in this field, basically. there was a lady who was just unpacking her stuff, and I waited and waited until she unpacked and finally rooted through some jewelry. She tells me her mother-in-law used to be a buyer for a store. So I'm thinking maybe she had an idea of things that were on trend and of particularly good quality, etc. So I picked up these 2 sets of shoe clips. And this is how they're constructed at the back, just to give you an idea. So mother of pearl. These are just crazy and very decorative. And again, they're shoe clips. Anywhere between the back of that with its geometrical design makes me think of the 20s. Might be 20s, 30s, might be a little later. This makes me think of maybe 40s to 60s. We shall find out, but definitely I haven't seen any exactly like that. Just a nice vintage style. Reminds me of another era, and they were $3 a pair. So I thought, that's stuff I can't get anywhere else. I don't care. We'll find out. We'll find out what it's worth and who is going to enjoy that. At a yard sale last weekend, these 3 were on the same table. I was really interested, not for the quality. I mean, you'll see the lines are not crisp, you know, they're not signed. There are some gems missing on this one. But the glass gems, the way they're faceted, is quite nice. It's simply because it's vintage and things were done differently back then. Even on run-of-the-mill jewelry that was not signed and precious metals, they would do a pretty high-quality job. So these little square cushions and these here, I love the way the glass is cut. And it's not plastic, it's glass, you know, it's those things. I love the size of that too. So we're talking about 1940s approximately. They were $1 each, so I couldn't resist that, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know how popular they are, but there's always someone to appreciate a nice piece of vintage jewelry. I'm thinking more this is like that 80s or 90s. And I love lucite stuff like this. I just always think this is fun. That was $1 too. I think there's something very carefree and kind of silly about it and just fun. So I think someone else will think so too. And it's a moon. It's a good thing. We went to this other sale. We went to the sale today. And there was this metal looking thing, which I thought, yeah, that was, for a while it was a big deal. Metal looking things like in the 80s and 90s, I'm thinking. So I grabbed that. That was about $2. I have some more jewelry for you in a bit, but I'll just go through these items. This was $1, and I loved the decoration of this mirror, so I decided to go with that. I don't want to blind you, but just to let you see. I have no idea what this is worth. It's a nice thing. Picked up for $3 this jewelry box. The top is iconic. Like, that's so 1960s, little girl's bedroom, ballerinas. It makes me think of, you know, early 60s Barbies. It should have, of course, a little ballerina that spins around, but it doesn't. But it was $3 and fairly clean inside. I think I'll make a little money on that, you know, maybe $15, but we'll get that away. Probably one of our best-selling items will be this pressure cooker. I know nothing about pressure cooker, never having used one myself. Perhaps that stems from the story that goes around in my family that my grandmother had used one, it exploded and dented the ceiling. Maybe it's because I don't cook enough. Anyways, this is brand new. It's made in France. We sold one that was not as good as that and made good money on it. And I can't remember. It was something like $50 or something like that. No, 35, I'm told, behind the scenes. 35. So, you know, maybe we're looking at $40 or maybe 70. So that's, yeah, that's really reassuring to see something like that. And we bought it for 15. No, 8, not 15. We also picked up a shoe polisher. Shoe polisher is vintage and it was $2. And, you know, it just spins, it polishes. It has a cool industrial 60s look that, you know, I just thought maybe somebody will want that. And they do go for maybe about $20 and they do the job, you know, so why not pick that up? We picked up a percolator. Very 1950s, very mid-century modern with all the little gold stars. Very Jetsons, you know. It seems to come on. So it should be in okay order. And it's in good shape. So we've seen some sell for about $30. It was $1. That will always please us. I have all kinds of little bits and pieces. I'm going to show you this, which is, let me move this out of the way. This is a flower frog where you arrange your flowers. I'm not sure this started life together because the rim here seems to have, it's molded for like a screw top lid, but it seems to work. I think this is Vaseline glass. I don't have a black light. I'll need to get one or borrow one to make sure it's the same thing. That wonderful 1920s-ish glassware that had uranium in it and that made it glow. At any rate, it's decorative. It can be useful paired that way. And so I was kind of looking at it. The lady who was having the sale was like, pick up anything. She's like, pick up, she's like 5 things for $2. Anything on the table, 5 for $2. And so we picked up things we wouldn't have necessarily picked up, but you know, if they're gonna be like 40 cents a piece. This is a nice planter. It's made by Noritake, I believe. I think she's got a little damage maybe on one finger, but I think she's very sweet and that somebody might be interested in that. You know, this is nothing that's gonna bring the house down, maybe $12, 14. This is Rosalee pattern dish, and it's made in England, and just a very pleasant thing. Someone might need it to complete a set that they have. And a Mikasa sugar and creamer. This has a little chip on the bottom. I don't know that much about Mikasa. I seem to never know what pattern is worth more. Some of it does okay, from what I understand. Some of it is virtually worthless from what I see. But, you know, when it's so cheap, then I'd like to try it. I thought this was an appealing pattern. You know, just very spring feeling and, you know, and it is, yeah, it's bone china. So much for that. But just to let you know, we've already, at the same sale, we had another, picked up another 5 items for $2 and picked up a couple of other things like a rug for our kitchen. And I may show you some more of that as we move along. I did pick up a lot of things that were like Stampin' Up stuff. I know nothing of this, so I have no idea. I think it's probably I paid too much, but you know, at about This was about $4. That's definitely too much for that. This, however, was just like $1. That's not Stampin' Up, but it's some other company that does these gel stamps. This is a thingy. And some people out there will know exactly what this is. It looks like, and I was told something like, oh, it's made to punch the holes. I'm not sure where these holes go. I guess it's in the scrapbooking book itself, or the pages, or so I'll do a little research, and you know, we'll see. If some of you out there know what this is, you can illuminate me. I don't know. I feel like, and that was $2, or it was $1, something like that. So I don't know. I think I don't know enough about this stuff to make a lot of money from these things. I used to use stamps sometimes a while back, but that was really a while back, and never to do some real heavy-duty craft booking. Lord knows I love to put stories together with stamps and pictures and everything, but I never dedicated that kind of time to it, so I'm kind of lost when it comes to all this. But when I see a bunch of stamps, and I'm like, well, I should try something, because I think some of it is sought after. So anyways, last little roundup of jewelry. Blast from the past. Let me take you to a time where earrings were as large as your head, and you had no shame whatsoever in wearing them. I wore huge jewelry in the 80s sometimes, so I know that this is from the late 80s, early 90s, something like that. I mean, this thing is so large that it's hinged. It's not just articulated with a little thing, you know, it's hinged. And they were $2, and I thought, again, that's very distinctive. If you like that sort of thing, or you want to wear something you used to wear years ago, there you go. I'll try and sell them for, you know, 15, 20 or something like that. We'll see what happens. These, same idea. You know, if you want the attention, you wear these. In the same lot, I picked up, these were $2 as well. This metal looking thing, but it's made by Sphinx. They made some very high quality jewelry. Some of it is worth quite a bit. I haven't seen anything like this. We will see how this does, but I think it's a good theme. That was really in for a while, and I think some people might be, you know, into dressing up something like that, cosplay, you know, just doing something special. It's a well-made example of that. So that rounds it up for now. Hopefully we will speak very soon. It's always our pleasure to share everything. If you want to leave a comment, I'm always interested in what you've got to say. Give us a thumbs up if your heart is in it. And hopefully you're having lots of sales. You're having a lot of fun finding really interesting things. And have a great time. We'll talk to you very soon.